Welcome to AI Easy as Pie. I'm Jim Peak, your host. And in this show, we're going to help you understand exactly how easy AI can be. It's as easy as eating a piece of pie. So, on today's episode, we have the scholar of Suno, the master of music, my friend Frank Chang. Welcome, Frank.
Hey everybody, it's good to meet you all, and I'm excited to be on this podcast with Jim and doing some good stuff with AI. So I'm excited to be here.
Me too. I'm excited to have you, brother. Let's start. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into AI and what's your adventure been like so far?
Oh, my path at AI. Well, I'm in tech, so I actually work at AI. But before generative AI, it used to be like machine learning and all these other stuff. So I did AI before it was a cool thing. And when generative AI came out and with Chat GPT about a couple of years ago, actually wasn't into it at first because I didn't know crypto was the hot thing back then, right? But then more buzz came in, crypto died and just came in. And for me now, is I just into the kind of the trending talking points. And for me, personally, for me, it's just a move with the wave and I don't want to get behind it. And I just really become a diligent student of studying this skill set, this art, this craft. And for me, surprisingly, I landed into generative AI for music. And that's been my thing that I wanted to get more deeper in, but I love it all. I love text to image. I love image to image. I love all the stuff that we could do with AI automation and coding
Pretty
and
awesome.
the whole wide gamut of it all.
All right, cool. So I have a series of questions for you, Frank, and let's just play. Let's just see which ones resonate the most. So for you, can you think of a task that you used to hate to do that now AI either does for you or just totally helps you out, saves you a little bit of time or whatever?
Oh yeah, there's too many. So I'll tell you the latest one. I'm trying to build my business product line, and one thing I don't know if I hate to do, I just one thing I never was able to do. How about that? Was we're trying to build a brand. So in the business world, you have to kind of name hey, what's your branding. And there's actually people that are in the industry that are experts at building a brand, and I didn't even know anything about this. And the idea of having to make logos or do colors and fonts and this as an artist. People go to college to get this stuff, right? To get a degree of expertise.
Yeah.
And in terms of for me, I was like, ever since I started, okay, I need to make a brand. And I was able to use AI to just, I don't know if you guys know, in terms of your audience, Chat GPT, they have a O1 model, and the O1 model is really deep into doing analysis and deep thinking, and you could
Awesome.
just ask all that information. I'm trying to do this in terms of my brand, and my brand is making my company's called Thankful Tunes. And
That is a
I'm
great
trying to
name,
make
by
a
the
brand,
way.
but this is my target. Yeah, that's another one. Another good thing of AI is if you wanted to look up names and you just wanted something catchy and you're trying to figure out, okay, what domain names is available. I want things that rhyme. I'm trying to have this intent. And my intent in my company is about appreciation. And I wanted to tie something with music and creating songs for people. And that's what I do. I teach people how to create songs for people that you love, that just show express love and appreciation for the ones you care about. And you may not have a good way of expressing that. And I think song is a powerful way to do that. And then I asked AI, that was one thing, is to answer the second part of your question. I asked AI, hey, what's a good name to build for this company? And then they said, well, you could, if that's my intent, these are the names that you could have. Oh, I don't like it. They gave me like heartfelt songs or something like that. But no, I want something catchy. I want something that rhymes. And then they'll give me different words, and I go, "Oh, I like this." In terms of marketing, you want to rhyme certain words together. I'll be like, "Oh, it starts with a T and give me another T." I never thought I would use tunes because everything with tunes is like iTunes, but then you just narrow the scope, and sometimes they give you ideas and be like, "You can't take that. It's already taken. Domain taken." I'll be like, "Okay, give me the ones that are available," and then AI could just search all that. So you could really do a lot if you know what you want. The key idea is you have to know exactly what you want, and I think that's mostly the challenge for me, and also for a lot of people is they're not clear. So I get a ballpark, but as you have AI, another good tool of AI is it keeps refining what you want, and and you can have a dialogue with it.
Right?
So that's yeah.
Yeah, you might have a clear vision, but also you might have just an idea. And then through this iteration process, you get to that clarity like you did. You got to that point. I'm thankful for you, Frank. And I'm thankful that you're doing that. So that is a great name and a great process that you went through to get it and to build your brand. That's
Yeah, and the whole branding part was also you could just tell AI, be like, "This is what I think I want," and you could do brand research. The part of the thing in terms of branding is figuring out, "Hey, who's my competitors in this field?" And now with AI, before you had to go through Google was great. Before Google was the library, right, or whatever,
right.
the city hall or whatever in terms of the businesses, the yellow pages, the books, I dated myself. But now you could do Google, which is fast, but still you have to comb through all that data, which is long. Now with AI, you can say, hey, what are people in this industry? Who are people creating songs, right? Who's my competitors that could do that? With AI, it could just search through all that information, curate it for you. And then, okay, there's actually not that much. Okay, what's their logo? What do they look like? What are people in this industry? How do they communicate in terms of what they do? And you can see
In
competitors.
seconds, right? In
Seconds.
seconds.
You could do that
Yeah.
in seconds. As long as
I
you know
know.
what you want in terms of,
Yeah. I remember in
yeah,
college going and taking a course on how to work with the reference librarian to get your information by searching through things like microfiche.
yep. You got to
I'm
go
like,
to the Rolodex. And so it's just,
you
there's,
know,
it's the best tools we had at the moment. But
yeah,
now the idea is for people to, hey, there's new tools. And, but the new tools, you have to let people know it's actually pretty easy to use if you are open to learn. But a lot of people don't even realize these tools are available. And that's a tragedy.
exactly. They need to know, and the openness is key. Another great tool for what you're talking about is Gamma. That is another awesome one for designing your brand, for getting very clear. You can create presentations and websites, and it helps you go through and decide what your look is to be, what your overall brand. But I too start with Chat GPT and go deep there because there's something about the iterative process there, the brainstorming that you can do there. Okay, I got another question for you. Going towards the future, Frank, what's a business challenge or a personal challenge that you've been putting off and you have a little suspicion that maybe AI can help you? Is there some business or personal
Oh,
challenge?
yeah. I mean, on top of this other stuff, I'm also a coach, and I think we're in the same world, the Tony Robbins world, and Tony has a coaching program called RNT, which is Robin Madonna's training, which is in the coaching industry. Everyone needs a coach, and it's good to have feedback. And right now in AI, what you could do if you know how to use it, especially with different modalities other than typing, which everyone communicates as typing, but AI is so advanced now, you can actually do it through dialogue, through voice. And
Wait,
yeah, it's a very natural way to communicate so you can get feedback immediately. So in terms of stuff that would put off, well, AI would do it. A lot of my stuff now is I want my own. I have a coach too, like a neurohuman coach, but sometimes my coach is not on demand. Like we have to schedule stuff. He's busy. Weird. I need it, and I use AI a lot in terms of for my own stuff. In terms of your question, sometimes I get stuck, or I need my own motivation, or I'll use AI to just dialogue in terms of say, hey, this is my intentions. You can actually set goals. One of the things that Jim and we all do every day, we have a goal setting workshop, and Tony, we call it RMP, right? Re, results, purpose, and massive action. And then we want to hit our goals for the day. And I use AI to enforce, hey, this is what my goals are going to be for the day. And sometimes I don't want to do it. And then when I don't want to do it, we felt these blind spots. Hey, what's going on inside of me? What are these limited beliefs I may or may not have, and why do I have hesitancy or some of this stuff? Especially like when we're creative, we're doing things that's uncomfortable, or we have these doubts and fears. I use AI to actually dialogue. Hey, I'm feeling like this right now. It's like a immediate therapy in a way, immediate therapy session. But the key part why that works really well in terms of the coaching space, the AI space, is in coaching, what we find out is not really about what the coach says. Is at least for me in my process, is what I extract out of myself. And the process is just having the ability to someone to ask good questions. And then when a good question comes back, if you play full out, if you're honest and you're authentic in your response, then you can say, oh, okay, that's really what I'm feeling inside. This is really what my current intern we call it invisible forces. This is what's really happening inside of me, right? So
Mhm.
AI helps to extract that just because you have an open dialogue. It's not always the best, but it opens the conversation up so we're not in our head and we're not stuck inside and just wandering in our head. And when you just talk and open up and just have a dialogue, it just opens up. So that's in terms of AI helping me not do the things I want. Because once I realize, oh, that's what I don't do what I want, you can also make social declarations. Like there's some people, their motivation is different. My motivation is if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Even if I'm saying it to something like not a real person, like an AI, you're like, hey, what are you going to do today? I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm gonna do that. And AI, it has memory right now, so it remembers. So you could go back and then it just remembers that, hey, what did I say I was gonna do? You said you were gonna do this. And actually, I didn't do that. But then I forget, why did you do that? I'd be like, that's a good question. What did I end up doing with my time? And what did I try to avoid? So, oh, that's a long-winded question in terms of advanced use of these tools, but that's how fast these tools work right now, and that's how quickly you can get results if you
That's
know how to use it right.
Yeah, if you know how to use it, which comes by just playing like you did. If, in the middle of the night when you can't call your coach, you need help, you can start dialoguing with it and you get clearer. And I love that too. I love what you said, Frank. I've had the same thing come back to me where it said, I'd ask it a question like, what's some things that I might want to shoot for this week? And it will remember my overall purpose and mission and go, since you're on this mission to create this awesome AI school, then this is what you could do. And I'm like, oh, you remembered that.
Yeah, it's really this is a friendly reminder, and it's not oh it remembers everything I say. The AI has its limitation, but it's you just need like a friendly like reminder. Like you probably if you're diligent, we take our notes and we have our to do list. It's equivalent of those, but a lot of my to do list is just I don't look back at it. But when you have dialogue and it remembers, it pulls it out of you really quick. Because literally it's just a reference point that it remembers off the bat. So
It is.
yeah,
Totally. All right. I got the
it's
next question for you. You ready for it? All right.
ask me whatever question you want. I'm ready for all of them.
All right. Sock it to me. What's one time that you found a much easier way to do something? What's a business process that you just found so much easier? Are there any hacks that you've come across along the way?
This is like it's not even easy. How about I couldn't do at all, right? So one thing about Thankful Tunes is we help people create music, right? And I have no background in music. I never took. I know I'm Chinese, and it's like typical like Chinese people. Hey, how come you didn't learn piano? I thought you were Chinese, right? But my parents didn't give me that, so I didn't have a music background. But I always had the secret, and then I don't know how to sing. Like my voice, I have a good voice, but it's not that good on the microphone. But I have a secret ambition, right? Also, the stereotype of Chinese or Asian people that don't you guys just karaoke all night? Yeah, they do, but I wasn't that good, right?
You're
So
breaking
no,
stereotypes left and right.
too much, right? A little bit too much. So you can edit all that out. Hopefully, you know HR violations here. But
Nope, it's okay.
um, but all joking regard, it's like I didn't have like the music talent background. I don't have the singer. I definitely don't know how to write lyrics. And these are skill sets that you really need to hone. They're real skills in terms of it takes diligent practice if you want to really sing well. You can, but you need a vocal coach, or you have to have consciousness, or sometimes you're naturally talented. I have none of those, right? In terms of that. But yet, in terms of answering your question, I could generate songs and I could generate music, which is like a secret ambition or secret passion of mine. We call that my shadow, right? My shadow self, that those parts that like I wish I had. I admire those people that had those skills. I wish I could be like that. So my mom could be proud of me, whatever. But those things is wow, they actually have now I have an avenue of expression, a new vehicle of expression. We call it in RMT, we call these new vehicles of expression, of fulfilling our needs, right? And this is like a secret desire that I always had that I never thought I could ever fulfill. But because of AI, not only is it have you done less? Is I couldn't even do it at all, but now I have a new medium of doing it in a very diligent, in a very expressive, and in a very like way. For example, like I had this secret ambition. I want to be the Chinese Eminem. I want to rap like Eminem, but I couldn't rhyme 2 words out of my hat. But I go, he's so cool. He's such an expressive artist in terms of his art, his craft. But now I could generate songs that sounds exactly, not exactly like him, in the ballpark of his style. But
Way
even if
better
I
than we
were
could before, right?
definitely way better than no skill at all. Hey, I got 80% of what he could do, which is way better than me in the self-development world, the Pareto's principles. Like if you get 80% of it, that's good enough for me, man. You guys have to be really a reminder of, hey, where were you like an hour ago versus where could you do now? And literally an hour ago, not even like where were you like 2 months ago versus where you are now. I have that perspective. I still don't say, "Oh, I'm a musician." No, I'm not a musician. I know I cannot sing songs or I cannot like sing well in terms of real skills, real human skills, but I could make songs. I could generate songs and I can make them that I'm really proud of that in terms of making those expressions. And I want to really teach people that because it's such a good outlet. It's a new expression. Even things like in terms of writing appreciation or writing letters, there's people they've done that before. We're like, okay, if you really like someone, write a letter. Okay, been there, done that. But how about even writing poems? Yeah, but if I had to write poems, that's like hard. I think that's
Right.
a skill in itself, right? Haikus, I'll be like, oh, I can't write without this stuff. I don't know the format. I don't know the structure, whatever, even all those. And then now with AI, you could do that, right? If you really want to write poems, that's an expression. But now with music, you can say, yeah, I could generate songs now with that expression. So it's just a totally new vehicle of outlet. But it's just so liberating and so amazed that we could do that with this technology, right?
It
And
is
use it
amazing.
there.
Yeah, as it and I went to UC Berkeley and I wanted to be the great American novelist. And after staring at a blank page for 4 years, I was like, okay, maybe I have to pivot. And so I turned to photography. But if I had Chat GPT just to get over that first blank page syndrome, whether you're writing
Mhm.
poetry or writing a novel or whatever you're creating, music, that first stage, when you have some partner that helps you get it out, you go, "Oh, yeah, yeah, that's what I wanna say," or, "No, I wanna change it here," then you're in the ballpark. So I love that you're doing that too, and we share that in common. It's
No, but I think most people when they do AI, they call it get it out of the blank page, right? Starting you from get you out of the blank page because that's where most fears start. We have these idea of, oh, this task is so big, but once you
yeah.
take action and you get the momentum going, then you could keep going, right? And then a lot of this is our creative energies, right? It really amplifies through AI, but also the initial part is it seems daunting. But if you have just the initial to kickstart you, like you get the first draft of it, or AI helps you make the first draft, and then you can start editing. Because what I'm really good at is I'm really good at pointing out what other people are not doing right. So like AI put it back, no, this is garbage. I wouldn't do this. I'll do that. But it gets my stuff rolling, right? And then the AI is not gonna take offense. It's okay, you didn't like that. That's fine. You can edit. If you give me like a template of something working, I could scratch everything out. Be like, I would do this, I would do that. Because I'm correcting someone else. But the trick is I'm actually doing it for myself. It's my own impression, right?
It is. It is,
Right.
and I think we're all masters of that. The little mind is so trained to look out for what is wrong, what's the gap, what's the hole that we need to fix so we can survive, that we're really good at that, pointing it out in others or this guy right here, getting over that and getting to that first initial stage where you're not in your head worried about what if somebody sees this poem and they make fun of me. You just go forward and you just
Mhm.
have something to work with. It's beautiful. I love that. Okay. So, Frank, if you could have an AI assistant that could do one thing perfectly for you, what would it be? An AI assistant that could do one thing and
Oh
you get bonus
man.
points for something odd or weird.
Man, I think I really want this idea of as I start like my side hustle and running my own business on the side. I really want the vision of I shoot big, man. I want to be single entrepreneur, and so it's not just one agent, right? or one assistant. I'll be like, I want an army of agents that does all these other tasks for me. And it feels like in terms of, okay, booking my things, posting on my social media, correcting, answering emails, invoicing, looking at my data sets. It's all possible with AI right now. And it sounds like it sounds like wild and crazy, but it's all iterative, but the vision is there and it's possible. A lot of these tasks can be done. So to answer your question, I'll be like, I always just answer my emails and in a way where it's respectful, it's a response that I would do. It's something that just take a lot of those communications off. And also, yeah, that'll be one. And then just also set my reminder, hey, what's most important for me now? What did I say was most important? And remind me. And I'm doing that now as it is. But a lot of this a lot of this stuff could even be further and automated, where it's just your right hand man, right? Your wingman or the person that got your back. So AI could
Yes.
really be that for us.
I'm glad that you reminded me of that. I'm so excited about agents. And if you get an army of agents doing all these things in the middle of the night so that you're briefed like the president in the morning, here's my leads, here's my sales, and you go forward, will you go for more productivity or will you like go for, oh man, I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to go have a cold drink on a tropical beach?
I'll have choices, right? If I would need to dial down and travel and just check, and then I know that the business still runs, right? So that's one. But most
Yeah.
of the time, me being me is, man, that's we're in a grow. One of our human needs is to really expand and grow. And if I'm already expanding, I'm going to keep expanding, trying to keep pushing the boundary to see what we could do. Like, so if I had that, I'm just like, what's the next level of that, right? And
Right.
really, and also there's a point where you start giving back too. Be like, okay, I figured this out, and I think the world would really need it with their benefit. And how do I share it with the world too? But I like to be exemplar in terms of what I feel is possible. So I want to be able to figure out the map myself, and then for people that are interested, hey, you could do things a lot easier. If this is a frustrating thing for you, there's ways, there's ways, there's ways out, right? And actually show people how it's done. Yeah.
There are much better ways. Exactly. That's what we're both just so excited about the possibility. And we're both family men. So we have, I love how you said it, choices. We have choices. We can travel with our family. We can just spend time with our kids and we can expand our mission and grow and serve more people, reach more people and help more people. It's awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Second to the last question. What's the weirdest thing, Frank, that you've taught AI to do? And was it useful or just for laughs? What comes to the top of your head is,
Oh man, the
yeah,
weirdest thing.
what's the weirdest thing that you've taught AI to do?
I taught AI to the joke is AI is so smart, but they can't count the number of R's in strawberry. Every time strawberry has three R's, but Chat GPT it always says two. So I had to teach AI. Look, you said it was two, and then I'll be like, how many are in that? And then after it's spelled out, I go, how many R's are in there? They'll say two. Go, no, count each one. Okay, how many R's have you counted? So there's 3. I'll go, "Okay, there's 3." And then I'll ask them, "How many are in strawberry?" That's it. It's still 2. I'll go, "No, you just told me it was 3." And eventually, after you keep prompting, this is teaching AI and it learns itself. You gotta go specific. Eventually, they'll be like, "No, you just told me there was 2, 3 R's after you spelled it out. Now, how many really is there?" And they're like, "Yes, you're right. There's 3 R's in strawberry." So that's the
That
weirdest thing. And
you're
I
teaching.
always autocorrect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm an engineer by trade and I love reverse engineering. So I love figuring out these loopholes and these tricks. And AI right now at this state, this it's not perfect. It's get you off the board. It gets you 80% of the work done, but the 89%, the next 10% is still engineering and bugs. I'll tell you right now, and stuff like that is goofy, but you have to correct it. And I always tell AI, be like, "Oh, it's not a cure all for everything, but you understand this. We're in the beginning stage. Everyone's letting you know we are literally in the beginning part of everything. It sounds intimidating, but there there's a lot of people, a lot of time to learn all this and a lot of time to play with this. As long as you're open and you have a curious mind, and it's all possible, at least for you
Open.
and your audience.
Yeah, open and adaptable. And I love how you brought that out because you reminded our audience that there are limitations. And one is, yeah, it can't count like that. And it's just recognizing language patterns. So the other really big one is if you're trying to get quotes, whether they're from some text that's really important to you, or you're just like saying, what did Mark Twain say, for example? It's just going to guess. So compare what it says with what is actually recorded as what he said, because it will make it up. So
Yeah.
there are limitations, but even with those limitations, it's way, way better. It's so filled with possibility. You and I can see this, and it's the dumbest that it'll ever be. It's just
Yep.
going from here.
And then also this, you can't see it as they're like this. I don't know if you guys have friends in your elementary or high school. It's the know-it-all. And it says, yes, this. And they're so confident, you actually believe. AI is like that. Okay, we know him. When he says it, you got it, but you believe. But you should also do a little diligence to double check because it
You got
seems
it.
like it's so easy to get the answer, but that's where us as human beings, we still need to have critical thinking skills in that regard. It's good, but don't ever, it's a tool, so don't ever be a slave to the tool, right? You have to also think about, okay, and also appreciate, like, remember, where were you like 6 months ago or even 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and how fast you could get it here, and then lead it like, wow, I could get it so fast. And now it's, but it's not perfect. And it's this thing, it sucks. I'm like, no, because have some perspective. Okay.
That's
You could
right.
get so much done in such a short time now. And it's just not it's not everything just handed to you on a golden platter. It's just have some of that perspective.
Exactly. Have some perspective, play around, understand that it's a bit of a crazy genius, play with it and have fun. Okay, the last question for you, Frank. If you could go back in time and show your 10-year-old self, go back and remember where were you? What year was it when you were 10? What was it like? What were you seeing and doing? What were you playing? If you could go back to that 10-year-old and tell them about AI, what would you say, and what do you think they would say? Would that 10-year-old's mind just
Mhm.
explode? What
So when I was 10 years old, I was pretty curious. I remember a story where, remember Sega,
Oh, yeah.
the video game company,
Yeah.
and remember Street Fighter? I wanted to make a video game like Street Fighter.
Yes.
And then I was so shy when I was young, but I remember I was like, I had a secret ambition to do it. So what I did was, I didn't tell anyone that I did this. I wrote out, here's all the moves, and I drew it out because I couldn't write it. And I was like, this is what you do if you put, so if you did this on the controller and did this, and I pull out my hand. And then I secretly submitted to Sega, and Sega, I'd be like, oh, I hope they did it. That was like bold move for me to do that, but it was like my secret ambition. That was like my shadow, right? But no, obviously they didn't call back. But they should have,
They
but
should.
it would have been an awesome game. But now I would tell my secret, the 10-year-old now knowing, dude, dummy, why are you even trying this out? You could generate all this in AI. It's so easy. Like, this how you can do it. You can actually code it. You can actually make it in AI exactly how you want it. And you can literally do it. If you want to make a video game, it's so easy to make. I was drawing it out. You can make, call it sprites, right? You can make sprites. You can make it animate. You could even code it to the point where you could have it write code.
Yeah,
You could run it.
and then
You could do all of it.
you could do the music for it.
You could do the music for it. You could do the background. You can make the sound effects. AI could do all that, and it's all on your fingertips. Before, we just had archaic tools of pen and paper, and maybe yeah, you'd need to learn programming back and all that. But tell yourself, I'll be like, look, you could do all this. Your vision that you have, your secret vision, you could do each part one by one, and the speed we could do it is so fast, and especially like our 10-year-old, our kids. I have two kids at 9, 6. They're ultra creative. If you give them like a tool and a vehicle and like a sandbox and a playground, they'll go at it. They'll go at it as long as we don't shame and then just let them go and just let it open them up. But yeah, my 10-year-old, if someone showed me that and gave me the permission to go wild,
Yeah.
it would have been a different story. The story is still a great story because it showed my ambition and
Yeah.
what I was willing to do. And that's always like my story of, yeah, actually I had that innate in me, that
Uh,
secret desire
Creator.
to
Yeah.
create and to achieve. But it wasn't like nurtured per se. But if that was me telling my 10-year self, I would nurture first, I would nurture that. And second, and I wouldn't allow it to be blossom. Second, I'll give them like the tools to make it quote unquote not easier because they still have to be expressive, but there's more tools that are readily available with
Awesome.
internet and technology and everything else. It's just it's okay. This is a part where this is the trap, right? It's too overwhelming. This
Yes.
is it's so much and so fast. It's just too overwhelming, and then people are like, "Oh my god!" And that's also my AI journey. In the beginning, I knew about it, but without someone to guide us, it felt very overwhelming. So now it's like for me, is I had to go through the barrier of kind of either finding guides
Yeah.
or I had to force through that I'm going to learn it myself. But when you learn it yourself, it's just new lingo, new everything else. So having to guide someone that's got you can resonate with, or you that then oh I like. I think I could either learn or hang out or ask and open and ask about this. I could resonate with this person. Find that for you, and then in the area of AI too, and then just be curious or be open to, hey, I'm trying to do this. Is this possible? And just have some humility in terms of the learning process. But that in itself, if I did on my 10-year-old, even if I give him all that open tools, I would know that would also be too much. It'll be too much for the 10-year-old or the 10-year-old and most of us
He would be so
that has
excited,
that.
wouldn't he? He
He'll
would
be
be
excited, but then he'll be like, I don't know where to start.
exactly.
So
So
you
for
give him
that,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just gave me a perfect segue. So thank you. I want to invite everybody watching or listening. We are coming up to a awesome 3-day live virtual workshop called AI Productivity Powerhouse. So January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I'm putting on this workshop for people who want to get ahead of this awesome trend of AI and maybe feel a little overwhelmed by all the tools coming out, all the choices. We're going to provide you with expert understanding and teachings on things like how to create the best prompts to get the best results, how to create video that is actually really cool, how to edit video with these AI tools in seconds so that you can become a video production machine, how to do audio, and how to make songs, whether it's just for fun or whether you're going to use them in some actual application, some actual activity. Frank is going to join me and be one of my guest speakers there. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. It's going to be
Hey,
awesome.
I'll show up for that. Yeah, and for people, on top of that, as of this recording, it's Christmas time, and it's time for Christmas and Thanksgiving is usually time of appreciation and gratitude and kind of reflection, but also the time for giving. And maybe sometimes you want to give something that's unique, that's different. And what other more beautiful gift that you can give is like a personalized song for the people that you care about. Thanksgiving, the time is like once a year you say you're thankful for. Come on, guys. Once a year, come on, we could do better than that, right? We really express the people that you love and care for, either your partner, your kids, your parents, your siblings, your uncles, people that really that made an impact on your life. So this is the time to see what we reflect that upon. We don't want to wait for this. Usually the tragic events in life stages is we usually wait for the end of life to express this gratitude
Now is the
in terms
time.
of today's the day, man. Come on. It's like, why wait? Can we be, why you wait to say a thank you or to say, I see the beauty in you. I see the strength in you. And then if you want to do it, if you don't want to do it in a traditional way where you have a hard time doing it, do it through like a new medium expression. Do it with music. Music amplifies everything. That's the secret, right? So it might be, and it's not difficult. It's just you have one or two good ideas, and just hey, I see this beauty. Like for example, my kid, he got feedback from his school the other day, and for me being a dad, I'm always telling, hey, you're not doing this well. Hey, how come you got this wrong? Hey, how come you couldn't do this? I heard this. You messing around this class. All they hear is all the bad, like what they're not doing
Yeah.
well in, right? So let's have a stage or a time where we're like, hey, let's celebrate what they are doing well. my kid the other day be like, look, I got, they call it clipped up. Basically, they have ranking in school. They do really well. The teacher will acknowledge them. And he came home the other day, be like, hey, daddy, I clipped up today. I went from ready to learn to like a great job or good effort, right? Or something like that. And then you want to just celebrate those wins because positive reinforcement really like it enforces positive habits and positive
Yeah.
behaviors.
Success builds on
So
success.
yeah, yeah. Make it if you guys want, then make it a give it a unique gift. And then what great thing about music and songs is it's like a natural affirmation. The more you listen to it, the more you believe in it. So tell
Yeah.
them how great they are. Tell them how beautiful they are. Tell them their strength or remind them. And then if they got a catchy tune, and you could make it where it's a song they already like, but you put your own words in it and you could customize it. You say their name in it and you say something that's specific to an event that happens to their in their life. They're gonna remember that and
Yeah.
they repeat it, listen to it, dude, it's a wrap. In
Yeah.
Tony's world, we call it affirmations, right? That the more you say things to yourself, the more you start believing it because everything is just about beliefs and words and language. And you listen to it repeatedly. Music's a natural medium of expression doing that.
Oh, that's
It's just a
fantastic.
beautiful way to reinforce positive affirmations in yourself. And then
So
it's
if
like,
people
man,
want
it's
to
like
follow up with you, it's thankfultunes.com.
yeah, thankfultunes.com, and you can my handle on the internet is the Frank Chang Show. So you can just find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, and then also frankchangshow.com if you want to do some coaching, specialized in relationships, family, and
Awesome.
shadow work.
Yeah, and
So
shadow work
love
and
all this stuff.
yeah, me too. And you'll be able to find him at the AI productivity workshop and go to jimpeak.com to learn more about that. And since you mentioned it a couple times, Frank, I think it would be really good. Let's give our audience a little bonus. This is just going to be a 2-minute bonus on shadow work. And Frank and I have come to shadow work for different reasons, so we have different understandings. But for anybody who's listening or watching, if you've ever felt performance anxiety, this is one place where I really find this to be incredibly helpful. And it came to me from a teacher named Phil Stutz. And you can, if you got Netflix, you can watch a great documentary that Jonah Hill did about Phil called Stutz, Stutz. And Phil teaches that there's this side of us that we don't really like, we don't want other people to see, to know about. We're a little embarrassed about it. And often we cage it inside. We don't let anybody see. But if instead we just go ahead and visualize what would be a visualization of all those qualities that we don't really like about ourselves and we don't want others to see. And sometimes when people do that, they see a younger version of themselves, maybe a 10-year-old, who knows? But instead of hiding it, you literally visualize that being, that part of yourself next to you, and you communicate and connect and partner. You say, hey, buddy, we're in this together. We're doing this together. And you really connect. And then you turn to your audience and together in your mind, you say, listen. And then you communicate with this team. And it has so much inner authority. It's been a life changer for me. And so I recommend if
Yep.
anyone, whether you're learning the piano and you have performance anxiety when it comes to playing the piano or some musical instrument, like Frank talked about, or you might give a presentation. That's just one instance of how powerful it is.
Yeah, this definitely. I mean, that this topic in itself deserves another podcast, so we should do a follow up on this.
Let's do a
But it
follow-up.
is yeah, everything I said in terms of our story, those parts that I try to hide or ashamed. Yeah, I had the secret ambition of trying to rhyme like Eminem, and I had the secret ambition of singing, but I couldn't express that even as a kid. I couldn't. I was hiding that part of me, but it eventually all leaks out. So you want to embrace that part of you. These are called parts work. This part of us, we don't want to shame it. We want to embrace it. And that create once you acknowledge it, once we acknowledge it, it starts to bloom and then things open up. And because what's really happening is we're fighting our parts of ourselves. So once we embrace those parts, we're integrating and we don't shame that part of us. And then once we have integration, more heart, more more things in the
Energy is
universe are
released.
working for us.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Energy is
awesome,
definitely
Frank.
released. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So thank you
Yeah,
so
we're
much.
getting woo-woo stuff. We're getting energy work and all that stuff too. So let's go.
Exactly. We're covering all grounds.
I
Thank
know
you
we didn't
so
even
much.
talk about AI that much. We didn't even talk about Suno. We didn't say Suno
Right.
once.
All right. Let's schedule some future shows to it. And let's do
For
an
sure.
actual, instead of a podcast where people are listening to it, let's get together and do an actual demo where they can actually see the work. And if we don't do that during the holidays, again, people come to the 3-day workshop, sign up now,
Yeah.
jimpeak.com. There's a button for it. And go to thankfultunes.com to learn more about Frank's awesome giving of songs as an expression of gratitude. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you, Frank. You are a rock star.
Same likewise, Jim.
All right.
We're rock stars together, man.
Yeah.
It's
Now we're
talk to you,
cooking.
bro.
Now we're
Heck
cooking.
yeah, we're warmed up. Let's get the second podcast going. Let's go.
All right, everybody. Have fun.
All right.
Enjoy finding out how easy AI is. And if you ever do feel overwhelmed, just take it one step at a time and turn to guides like Frank and I. We would be happy to help you. All right.
See you guys.